Marston's Domain.
Hey everyone, Marston here, and today I want to talk about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze because this is a game that everybody needs to get if they own a Switch. I honestly wouldn't recommend any game more than this game. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm a huge Donkey Kong Country fan. I'm just a huge Donkey Kong fan in general, but particularly the Donkey Kong Country series, and I could not recommend this game anymore. I was not a fan of Donkey Kong Country Returns, and I think that there's a good amount of people that played that game that may not have really enjoyed it either. I'm not saying that it's a bad game, but for it to be the return of a series, I was extremely excited and left feeling kinda eh. But Tropical Freeze, to me, is like the true reboot of Donkey Kong Country. I think that they did a really good job at trying to make it feel as much like the older games as they could without it feeling too much like the older games. Because if you're good at the original trilogy of Donkey Kong Country, you'll be good at this game. In terms of movement and how the game works, it's essentially the same. So again, if you're good at the old ones, you'll be good at this one. But there's a lot of different things that they've done that make it fresh enough to where it's like, okay, I actually want to try to be even better with this game, and I want to improve upon the new things that are in this game. Because for those of you who know nothing about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, because this game was originally on the Wii U, but is now on the Switch, the way that this game works is that there's Cranky Kong, Dixie Kong, and Diddy Kong, but when you get them, they're always hanging on to Donkey Kong. So when you get Cranky Kong, you're not just playing only as Cranky Kong. You're playing as DK with Cranky Kong. And each one of them serves as like a power-up, basically, because you have more health, but more importantly, you get a new ability. So with Cranky Kong, you can bounce on his cane, which can allow you to go really fast because you maintain momentum, and you can bounce on spikes and enemies. With Dixie Kong, she can hover up a little bit, and then kind of hover down a little bit, and then with Diddy Kong, he can just kind of hover in the air. And since I'm obsessed with Dixie Kong, I always just use her regardless, unless if I'm trying to go for speedrunning stuff, because then typically Cranky Kong is the best. And speaking of speedrunning, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze has Time Attack, which is what it sounds like. It's like a time trial thing, but there's actually gold, silver, and bronze medals that you can get, and they're very challenging. And what's really cool is when you get a time, you can actually upload it online, and it gets sent to a leaderboard, and you can see where you rank against other people. And you can even download someone else's replay from the leaderboard and see how they got their time. And what's really cool with this version of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch is that they added Funky Kong, which is something that I didn't really care about at first, but now I can kind of see how it's cool. Because Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is not an easy game, but when playing as Funky Kong, they made it so that way he can roll infinitely, he can land on spikes, he can breathe underwater infinitely, he can hover on his surfboard for a little bit when he's jumping, he has a double jump. So adding Funky Kong made the game a lot more accessible to casual players, which I think is great. Because the reason why I was upset about this at first was because I thought it was mixed in with the normal mode. So I was like, I don't really want everyone to experience the game with this like really easy mode, with this one Kong that makes the game so much easier, but they actually separated it. You choose right from the get-go when you select your file if you want it to be original mode or funky mode. If you pick original mode, you can't switch to Funky Kong. You'd have to make a new save file. So I think that's really cool. I think they did it perfectly. And plus, Funky Kong I'm actually kind of excited to play a campaign as because he's kind of built for speedrunning. He's made for casual players, but he's also really good for speedrunning. And, like I said, it's separated, so with the leaderboards, you have original mode and funky mode. So I just wanted to make this video to talk about how I couldn't recommend this game anymore. I talk about games that I enjoy or what I thought of games all the time, but this is a game that I really, really strongly recommend. And I do plan to stream this game quite a bit. I want to get pretty competitive with the leaderboards and stuff, so hopefully you guys look forward to seeing that. But otherwise, let me know in the comment section below if you're going to be getting this game, if you already have this game, if you bought it on the Wii U so you don't want to get it on the Switch, or if you bought it on the Wii U and you're going to buy it on the Switch like I did. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.